And today we're going to get into Joshua again, and I believe we're in chapter 15. All right, Joshua 15b. That's the only 15b I could find. And I searched real hard for that 15b. Joshua 15b looked like it's on the bottom of some old apartment building or something, you know. But 15b it is. You know, Joshua 15:36, and it reads, "And Sharaim and Adathaim and Gadara and Gerothaim, 14 cities with their villages." And we're going to take a look at this plethora of names and what they mean, you know, and I tell you in advance, you know, that, you know, I went through each and every one of these names, and I did define them, and, you know, and I had high hopes of stringing them together and finding some type of hidden message within the text. And wasn't there, you know, but, you know, it was fruitful to look them all up anyhow, you know, and, you know, so as we go through, you'll see what they mean, and we'll talk about it afterwards. All right, so we have Sha'arim, meaning two or double gates, two gates or double gates, and we have Adithaim, which is double prey or double ornament, and then we have Gadara, which speaks to a wall or sheepfold. We have Gederothaim, yeah, double wall, double sheepcote. Number 14 speaks to salvation or deliverance. We have in verse 37 it says Zanan and Hadashah and Migdal-gad. Zanan speaks to a sheep pasture, their flock, pointed, target, or weapon. Hadashah, renew or renewal. Migdal-gad, tower of fortune. Then we have Joshua 15:38 says, "And Dilian and Mizpeh and Yokthael." Dilian speaks to a gourd or a cucumber. Empty, beclouded, brought low in affliction. Mizpah speaks to a watchtower. Yokthael speaks to the veneration of Elohim, or blessedness of Elohim, or subdued by Elohim, or absolved of Elohim. All right, moving right along, we have verse 39, speaks to Lachish, as we heard Jory speak about just momentarily ago. And we have Bozkath and Eglon. Lachish, meaning invincible, or speaks to the walk of a man. And we have Bozkath, meaning the swell of the ground, or rocky height, or a swelling as of dough. We have Eglon, of or relating to a calf, or a bull calf. And we have verse 40, Joshua 15:40, says, "And Kaban and Lamam and Kiflish," Kaban or Kaban meaning to heap up, the builder as the prudent or understanding. Then we have Lamam, it speaks to their bread, their war. Then we have Kiflish, it speaks to it is a wall, the company of a lioness. And then we have verse 41, Joshua 15:41, "And Gederoth, Beth Dagon, and Naamah, and Makkedah, 16 cities with their villages." And we have Gederoth, speaks to walls or sheepfolds. Beth Dagon, the house of Dagon, or the house of fish. Naamah, speaking to pleasantness or loveliness, beautiful or sweetness. Makeda, speaking to spotting place, place of shepherds. Then we have verse 42. This is fun, isn't it? Libnah and Ether and Ashan. We have Libnah that speaks to whiteness and pavement, some sort of whitish tree. We have Ether speaks to abundance or entreaty. Ashan, smoke, verse 43. And Yiftah and Ashna and Nazib. Yiftah, he will open, whom El sets free. Ashna, I will cause change. Nazib, pillar, garrison, or standing place. And we have verse 44, and it says, and Keilah, and Akzib, and Menashah, 9 cities with their villages. Keilah, let the faint be alienated, or fortress. Akzib, being deceitful or falsehood, or I shall make a lie. Merishah, speaking to headship, or forget to be arrogant, crest of a hill, or low hills. Then we have verse 45, Ekron with her towns and her villages, and Ekron speaks to an eradication or something being torn up by the roots, or even firm rooted. Then we have verse 46, Joshua 15:46, from Ekron even unto the sea, all that lay near Ashdod with their villages. Ashdod speaking to a ravager or a powerful or stronghold or fortress. And we have verse 47, which says, Ashdod with her towns and her villages, Gaza with her towns and her villages unto the river Mitzrayim or Egypt, and the great sea and the border thereof. Gaza, meaning strong or the fortified. Mitzrayim or Egypt, speaking to Devil's Straits. Then we have verse 48, Joshua 15:48. And in the mountains, Shamir and Yatir and Soko. Shamir, meaning pricking or a thorn, a sharp point, keeping or guarding prison. And we have Yatir, preeminent, a remnant, excellent, he will search out. And we have Soko, speaking to his hedge, to entwine, or bushy. Then verses 49 through 51 says, and Danah and Kiryasana, which is Debir. Danah, thou hast judged, or judgment, or judging. We have Kiryasana, city of the book, or city of the thorn bush. Then we have Debir, speaking to an oracle or a sanctuary. Verse 50 says, and Anab and Eshtemoh and Anim. Anab, speaking to fruit or grape town or grapish or grape dung. Then we have Eshtemoh, meaning I shall cause my own ruin. I pray not. Fire of astonishment. I shall soar aloft. Obedience. I like that one. The bosom of a woman. Then we have Anim, which speaks to fountains. And we have verse 51, which says, and Goshen and Holon and Gilo, 11 cities with their villages. Goshen meaning drawing near. Holon, a window, grief, anguish, sandy. Gilo, open, exile, uncovered, stripped as a captive. Moving right along. Verses 52 through 54. Verse 52 says, in Arab and Dumah and Ashim. Arab, speaking to an ambush. Dumah, silence or to be done. Ashim, to support or slope or I will rely on or lean. Then we have verse 53, and Yanum, and Beth Tapua, and Africa. Yeah. And we have Yanum, he will slumber or sleep or sleeping. Beth Tapua, house of the apples, house of swelling, house that will cause breathing. Then we have Africa, fortress or enclosure, strong place, restraint. Verse 54, and Huntah and Kiryat Arba, which is Hebron and Zior, 9 cities with their villages. Huntah, place of lizards or lowliness. Kiryat Arba, city of the four. Hebron, seat of association or communion, alliance or friend. Zior, speaking to diminution, smallness, or just simply small. Verses 55 through 57. Maon, Carmel, and Ziph, and Utah. We have Maon, speaking to a residence or a habitation, a place of sin. We have Carmel, speaks to a vineyard of Elohim or fruitful field. We have Ziph, speaking to melting or battlement or flowing. And we have Utah, speaks to being stretched out or extended, turning away. He will be turned aside or extended. And we have verse 56, which says, and Yezreel, and Yokdeam, and Zanoah. Yezreel, El will sow, El has sown, it will be sown of El. Yokdeam, burning of the people, or burning of a people, let the people kindle. We don't want none of those. Zanoah, rejected or cast off, or marsh. Then we have verse 57. Cain, Gibeah, Timnah, 10 cities with their villages. Cain, speaking to a maker or a fabricator or smith. Possession, acquired, a lance, as striking fast. We have Gibeah, which speaks to a hill. Timnah, a portion or an assigned portion. Verses 58 through 60. We have Halul, Bethzur, Gedor, and Hahul speaks to being contorted or trembling, grief, travail, pain. We have Bethzur speaking to the house of the rock. Gedor, a wall or enclosure, the walling in. And we have verse 59. Joshua 15:59, and Ma'arav, and Bethanoth, and El Takon, 6 cities with their villages. Ma'arav, speaking to a waste or bareness, making empty, openness, watching, naked place. Bethanoth, house of responses or afflictions. El Takon, El is straight, made straight of Elohim. We have verse 60. Kiryat Baal, which is Kiryat Yearim, and Rabbah, 2 cities with their villages. Kiryat Baal, city of Baal. Kiryat Yearim, city of forests or city of towns. Rabbah, great or populous. And verses 61 through 63, in the wilderness of Beth Arabah, Medim, and Sekakah, we have Beth Arabah, house of the desert or desert house. Medim, measures or judgment, striving. Sekakah, enclosure or thicket, shadow, covering, defense. Verse 62, and Nibshan, and the city of Salt, and En Gedi, 6 cities with their villages. And we have Nibshan, meaning soft soil. We shall prophesy, quiet, smooth. And we have En Gedi. Really? Just when I was having fun. Nibshan, meaning soft soil. We shall prophesy, quiet, smooth. En Gedi, meaning fountain of the kid or goat. And for the final verse, verse 63, it says, as for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the city of Yahudah could not drive them out. But the Jebusites dwell with the children of Yahudah at Jerusalem unto this day. And Jebusites actually means trodden or threshing floor, or he will be trodden down. You know, in these chapters to come, you know, the chapters coming up, we're going to see this. It's going to be a pattern, you know, and the pattern that I'm speaking of is that, you know, Israel not driving out the enemy from out of their land. You know, and, you know, I wish that there was you know, I could have found a deeper lesson within all those names and definitions, but I couldn't. But, you know, there is something to be said about when Yah gives us the victory over our enemies, and we allow them to still dwell within us.
Yeah.
You know, now here it is. We see that with the tribe of Yehuda, you know, which Yehuda means the praiser of Yah, and I think we have some Yahudim up in here, right? You know, we have some folks that like to praise Yah up in here. You know, everybody spiritually speaking can be a Yahudim. You know, if they truly get a praise to Yah. You know, see, but what I want to bring across today is, you know, for us not to make the same mistakes that we seen natural Israel make. You know, that is when Yah has given us the victory over our enemies. You know, we're not to allow them to continue to dwell within us.
Yes, right.
You know, now the Jebusites, you know, it says that they dwell with the children of Yehuda at Jerusalem unto this day. You know, they never got them out of there. And take note that their name means he will trodden down. You know, guess who they're trying to trod down? They're trying to trod down Israel. They're trying to trod down you and I. You know, so when Yah has given us the victory over them, we have to take full advantage of that, and we have to not let them trod us down, but trod them down. Even utterly destroy them, even as Yah had told us. You know, and this is very relevant because, you know, in today in our walk, you know, as we're seeking to give Yah the praise in everything that we do, you know, we're going to find ourselves faced with some situations and circumstances in which Yah will give us the victory over a thing, you know, but we don't totally annihilate it. We'll allow it to live with us. You know, and the best way that, best example I can use to illustrate this is myself, you know, and how that Yah gave me the victory over gambling. You know, so gambling was trying to trod me down. He was using me as a threshing floor. He was jumping all over me. He was keeping me on the low end, especially financially. You know, and Yah got to the point to where he gave me the victory over him. Now, I could have done just like these Yahudim, and I could have ruled over the gambling in my life and had them paying tribute to me or something, you know, which is what got me in trouble in the first place. You know, because Yah didn't want us. He said when he sent us into the land and he gives us the victory over our enemies, he didn't want us to make a deal with them. You know, so if your Jebusite is smoking, that doesn't mean, you know, well, I'm going to cut down. You know, I'm only going to smoke a pack a week instead of a pack a day. You know, sounds good, you know, but next thing you know, you may be smoking 2 packs a day. You know, because you'll rule over the enemy for a time, but then when you grow weak, the enemy will grow strong. You know, so when Yah gives us the opportunity to destroy the enemy out of our life, then we need to take that opportunity and we need to utterly destroy it. You know, and Israel would have done this, and Yehuda would have done this, they would have never had to worry about the Jebusites ever again. You know, and if we do that with the enemies that's in our lives, you know, then we will never have to worry about them again. You know, I don't have to worry about gambling anymore. You know, hence, you know, I tell folks all the time, you know, hey, you know, I'm not going to bet you I'll wake up tomorrow. You know, that's how serious I am about not betting. That's how utterly I done destroyed that from my life. You know, it's not no turning back. We not cool. We not friends. You know, it's not about me trying to, you know, show how strong I am by going to the casino. You know, it's not about, you know, we just having dinner, you know, not going to gamble. No, I don't want no parts of it. None of it. You know, none of it. I'm not going to bet in no way, form, or fashion. I don't even want to go to the house of betting. You know, I can just forego with that. See, and that's how you have to do when your enemy is upon you. You know, and Yah gives you the victory over your enemy. You have to utterly destroy him from your life. If it's smoking and he's giving you an opportunity to have the victory over smoking in your life, or drinking, or whatever it may be, totally annihilate it. Totally annihilate it. Don't give it an inch. Don't give it an inch. Don't let it have no space in your life. But we're going to see as we continue through these chapters that Israel didn't do that. You know, Yah had given them the victory, you know, but he just wanted them to fight a little harder. You know, he gave them the victory, and they were able to conquer their enemies, but they didn't drive them out. They didn't completely drive them out. They allowed them to stay and remain in their lives, and this is something that us Israelites do, you know, now today still. You know, Yah gives us the victory over these things in our lives, and we allow them to remain in our lives in some form or fashion. You know, and that's a bad habit that we need to break, that we need to get away from. You know, Yah give us the victory, totally annihilate it, utterly destroy it from your life. Don't let it come back in no shape, form, or fashion. You know, and then we'll be able to enjoy the land that much more, you know, without hindrance from the enemy rising up within our camp. You know, well, that's about all I have for you today. I pray it was a blessing to you at this time.
Hallelujah.